You want to know what it's like to buy a $3,000 20-foot brush hog off of Facebook Marketplace? Let me show you. Cheyenne, where are we going?
What?
Where are we going at 4:30 in the morning? Huh? We're going to where?
I don't know.
You delusional because it's before you usually wake up or what?
Yes.
So it's roughly 4 in the morning. Actually, no, we left at 4 in the morning. It's about 4:30 now. It's a little bit of a trip, but we're going to Iowa to pick up a brush hog that's in disrepair and replace our old one that used to be in disrepair when we got it, and we used it for 5 years, and that's the plan. We'll hope for longer for this one, but we'll see. Does your truck whistle while it works? All right, everything's unloaded, as you can tell, and you saw last night in the videos. There was not a whole lot of videos that got recorded on the trip back, mainly because, or even on the way there, Iowa roads are like incredibly rough. I don't know if you guys pay taxes up there, and if you do, I'd start questioning some of your, your politicians, because I don't know where your money's going for your fuel taxes, but I don't feel like it's going to your roads. Sorry about the shortage of videos yesterday as we were picking it up and everything. I do have a couple of pictures I'll put in here of it loaded on the trailer, but boy, if you live in Iowa, if you guys are buying fuel in that place and then you drive on the road, I would have a lot of questions for the folks that are in charge of taking the money from the fuel tax and putting it into a fund for roads, because I feel like there's a disconnect and somehow that money is not going towards the roads. But I digress. The first thing that we do with equipment anytime we bring it home is exactly this. We wash it off. And it's not because, we don't want to dirty the shop up or anything like that, because it's going to get dirty. I can see other things that I may not have noticed before. So one of those things is, like I said, the deck. We can see that there's quite a bit of more damage on the main deck than what we anticipated, but when I'm on here and I bounce on it, the deck is solid. Now the tractor's bouncing because this thing does weigh a lot. But that's our first step, and we do the same thing with gearboxes, drive lines. We wash everything off. If I have hydraulic leaks on any of my cylinders themselves are leaking, it'll be a pretty good way for me to be able to tell, and obviously get a hold of that and maybe rebuild that cylinder or address the leaks. The gearboxes. Now, I haven't checked the fluids in them. We will when we bring it in the shop and everything, but that's another thing. It'll let me know if my gearboxes are leaking. There was a lot of fluid on that one, and that one is definitely leaking out of the top. I almost wonder if either the seal on the top is bad or if maybe even a bolt is just simply loose. But that is our first step. Now, it doesn't have to be like we use a steam pressure washer. We bought that thing a couple years ago, fixed it, and we use it a lot for that specific task, and also to clean equipment whenever they have leaks on them to figure out where they're at. If you don't have a steam washer, you know, a normal pressure washer is what we used for years with some Dawn dish soap. That'll help a lot too, and get everything cleaned up for you. That's why I was saying that washing it is going to show you everything that the previous owner may or may not have told you, or maybe that you overlooked when you were looking at it. So let's get this thing inside, fire this little girl up so we have some hydraulic pressure. It fits in here. I sure wish I'd have built that bigger shop. Right? Should have built that bigger shop. Fine. So, yoke, 3 tires, and then I need to get a seal for this gearbox, and I'll show you that here in a second. Got it. So the 2 wheel bearings that are bad, we already pulled this hub off. And the biggest reason I pulled this one off is because I need it in order to double check that I'm going to pick up the correct axle. So we're going to take this out completely, and we will take it with us when we go to Bush Hog. We will also take the PTO shaft with us as well, because this is another major thing that needs to be fixed. The yoke that actually connects to the main gearbox here, that is what's stopping us from being able to power this thing. Now, I did mess with it, and I can turn it by hand, and you can actually see it turning the gearboxes and everything. Now, does it take a little bit of strength to do it? Yeah, it absolutely does. And needless to say, I don't have enough strength to do it at a rapid speed, but you can pretty well tell that the gearboxes seem fine. So those are 2 big things, and then one other thing is you can see that this tire is completely destroyed. However, we have a couple more that they're not destroyed, but they definitely need replaced. They just don't hold air anymore. This is one of them. You can see, well, that wiggles around a lot right now because the other tire is not on there and it's up on a jack stand. But that one is flat. This one is good. This is the one we just took off of that other hub that was bad, or other hub that had bad bearings. And then this one's pretty questionable too. But this is actually filled with foam, it seems. Or maybe it's just air and it's just aired up well. It's hard to tell, but so more to follow on those parts. And then last but not least, we're going to take the top of this gearbox off and actually check it, make sure that it's just a seal that's causing our issue and there's no damage inside of this gearbox. Pretty sure that's what our issue is going to be, but we're going to double check it because it's just the right thing to do, and we're already here and we can't use it right now because we're trying to get other parts. Sometimes this can be a little bit of a deterring factor when it comes to purchasing something. Now this purchase actually came with all the bearings and the races and even 2 new seals to fix the bearing issues that are going on with this Bush Hog. And sometimes that's a little bit disconcerting because something as simple as replacing wheel bearings kind of makes me wonder, like, well, is there something else like major wrong? Hoping not, but we'll see. Simple. Get inside that groove like we were showing you earlier, and you'll be able to knock them right out just like so. I'll flip this over, do the same thing on this side. Find your groove, which it's in the same area as your groove from the other one. So if you just find that at the top, just go down, you'll be fine. Now that one came right out. If you look inside this cleaner one, there's obviously a gap right here on your right, my left. Same thing on the my left, your right. Those 2 gaps allow you to get a punch and get behind these races and punch them out. And it's the same way on this back side as well. So again, that's why I was just trying to, really drive home the point of making sure that we have things clean when we're working on them. So that one's pretty well ready to be put back together with new races. But what we're gonna do first is we're gonna put our races in the freezer because it'll make it much simpler to get them in here. Now we could warm these up if we needed to, like throw them in the oven, but I don't think we're gonna have to at this point. I'm not gonna fool you guys. You can tell that this is a mess from all the bearings that we replaced. I replaced a total of 8 wheel bearings, like the boxes I showed you. Originally I wasn't going to because the other ones I didn't think were all that bad, but it turns out they were worse than what I thought. So like these two right here on this wing, both of them got replaced. Originally it was just that inside one that's already got the tire on it, and then I was playing around looking at it after I tightened this one and kind of feeling it, and the bearings just didn't roll well. Well, when I took them apart, those two cracked ones that you've actually just seen on the table were inside. That's the races for those in there. We went ahead and replaced it. We've also got our new tires, so brand new tire there and a brand new tire on the outside over there. So again, those are the only 2 tires on this machine that are not foam filled. All the other ones are foam filled. And the reason I didn't go foam filled is just cost. For the price of doing 1 tire, just buying a tire, because you can't buy them, well you can, I couldn't find any locally where I could buy the tire and have it foam filled separately. Or sorry, buy the tire by itself and have it foam filled separately. Everyone around here, basically you bought the wheel, the tire, everything. So just like you see right here, you bought the whole thing just like that. And it wasn't the split rim style like these are. I like these rims much better for the simple fact that I can change these on my own. It's not hard, even with a tire machine. So that tire machine right there, you can't get the tires off of the rims with that one because it doesn't go small enough for one. Secondly, airplane tires are incredibly thick. These are 16 ply rating, but some of these were actually 20 ply rating, and it's a fight. So if you didn't have split rims, it would really be difficult. So later down the road, essentially, if I did want to replace a tire to say it gets worn out like these, you can see they don't have a whole lot of tread left on them. It's not a simple solution. That's why we went that route. I just wanted to show you how nice it looks in here. So everything looks really good, and I can actually spin this by hand and it actually keeps spinning. Like I said, everything looks really good in here. We are a little low, so you can see that this hole right here is where it should be filled to, and you can see it's not quite all the way there, but you can also tell that I have the wing up. That's why it's not level. That's because it's braced up with a block of wood, actually right there. So once I seal this up, I changed it. I'm gonna fire the tractor up. We're gonna put that wheel on. We'll level this out because if it does need some, it's actually a lot easier to add it with this top off, and then we will seal that back up. It does matter which way it goes because one side of this gearbox is a little longer than the other. Ow. Ultimately, it was well worth the purchase. So $3,000 came with the bearings. We got all that fixed. I spent another a little over $300 for 2 new tires, 3 inner tubes, and then I also had to buy the yoke on the front and the U-joint. Sorry, we were closer to $400, not $300. But moral of the story being is less than $3,500 into this, and I actually have a really good machine. We did have some headaches with the turnbuckles, but we've kind of got that figured out now, and much happier with it. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and be careful on Marketplace. But have a blessed week. We'll see you next time.